My dear fellow property sales professionals, once again it's good that we meet again. In case you may not know yet, my name is Madam Wang, the virtual assistant to CTM Joseph NG, your sales expert. Believe me, it's an honor to speak to you on sales closing methods. Without ado, let me tell more about this chapter. Alright, thanks. Here's goes. Chapter 7: The Sales Close Methods. Quote, closing is a make or break moment in sales. Choosing the right phrases to seal a sales deal is crucial. Adam Wiggins, he was an American professional baseball player, a second baseman and outfielder in Major League Baseball, MLB. What you are going to read in this chapter will surprise you beyond your imagination. These closing steps are time-tested and positive experience proven. They are easy to adapt but do require your persistence. Alright, be forewarned, even at the start of the selling process do watch out for prospects' buying signals. In the meantime, just forget all the tactics and methods of closing you have learned. As and when is appropriate, do close the sales immediately. To avoid doubts of the done deal presentation, just talk about subjects that are unrelated to product or service. This diversion is important to avoid overselling to the customer. Without wasting any time, let's quickly kickstart the core of this chapter with the top 5 tips on how to close the sales smoothly. Alright, by the way, due to lack of space, let's highlight only 5 key methods or tactics of closing. For starters, let's look into the first and foremost method, shall we? Method number 1. The order blank close. Frankly, an order form may sometimes be used entirely in selling and closing of a sale process. It requires you to display the order form from the beginning of the interview. This allows your prospect to become accustomed to seeing the order form before it comes into use. Believe it or not, you need to expose the order form even at the start of your sales talk. In fact, you must be ever ready to record the information relative to the sale. You could jumpstart to record prospects' information on your order form. As you proceed with this, you should start to ask trial closing questions. And if the timing is right, then you go on and write down everything the prospect says on the order sheet. In time, the prospect will become accustomed to you filling up the order sheet. It's got a date on it. It got the things he has been talking about on it. Hence, it is very easy for him or her to quickly make the decision to go ahead at the end of the presentation. The next method is easy to use when closing the sales. True. Method number 2. The assumptive close. Closing a sale can suffer from either a too passive approach or a too aggressive one. For example, asking the prospect, would you like to buy, shifts the entire conversation's outcome into the prospect's hands, making it all too easy for the prospect to say no. On the other end of the spectrum, an urgency close with a you need to act now message can scare the customer away in an instant. The assumptive close is also known as the presumptive close. It's where the salesperson assumes the prospect is ready to buy. Instead of the salesperson saying, "Are you ready to buy?" they would assume the sale, and ask a question like, "Would you like me to arrange for delivery on Monday?" The assumptive close keeps you in control of the sales momentum by skipping past the whole question of whether the customer wants to buy. In this approach, you simply assume that the sale is as good as done. As soon as you complete your sales pitch, you move right into a question. With the assumptive close, you're no longer asking permission to make the sale. You've already made the sale as far as you're concerned, and the close is just a matter of settling the details. In other words, you've answered yes on the prospect's behalf. One nice feature of the assumptive close is the effect it has not just on your buyer, but also on your own state of mind. For whatever reason, positive expectations just seem to boost people's ability to sell. It's as if your own enthusiasm, confidence, and pride in what you're selling transfers to prospects and turns them into buyers. If you've habitually wrestled with self-confidence as a salesperson, employing the assumptive close on a regular basis can help you enter each meeting or phone call with a fresh rush of positive energy. Like any other sales technique, there are right ways and not so right ways to make use of the assumptive close. One key to success in this technique involves making a seamless transition between your benefit statement and your assumptive close, that secondary question that guarantees the sale. Pausing gives the customer extra time to evaluate, and possibly dismiss, the benefit statement. If you feel the need to move as gracefully as possible into the assumptive close, break your secondary question into 2 questions. For example, you might ask, when do you want our technician to visit you? Should we stop by on Friday, since you said that was your slow day for business? Your customer might hesitate to answer the first question but then follow the prompt on the second buying question. Method number 3. Puppy dog close. If your product is one that can be used in the following manner, here is an excellent tactic for closing the sale. Do you know how to dispose a puppy dog that you don't want? You let someone keep it over a weekend. Let some child or young person or even an adult keep it. You can't get it back. Products are sold this way. Now, not all products can be sold by putting them in the hands of the user before the decision to buy is made. But some products can. The puppy dog close is a technique where salespeople allow buyers to test a product or service before agreeing to close a deal. Rather than hearing about how a product can solve their pain points, they can experience it themselves. As the name suggests, the strategy stems from how pet stores sell puppies. Consider the following scenario: a family visits a pet store, and a child falls in love with a puppy. They want to bring it home, but the parents aren't sure. The owner says, "Why don't you take it home for the weekend and see what happens?" The family takes the dog home, inevitably falls in love with their new pet, and agrees to go through with the sale. This closing method works for two reasons. Clients can make a decision in a low-pressure environment, and have an authentic experience with the product that shows them how it will benefit their day-to-day processes. These try-it-before-you-buy-it scenarios are also free, so customers don't have to worry about spending money and then requesting a refund. Shall we move on then to the last but one close? Method number 4. The balance sheet close. It's pretty accepted that this Ben Franklin method is recorded in some history records of lives of American presidents. And of course, this refers to the Ben Franklin balance sheets close. I was told that Ben Franklin was one of the greatest presidents in U.S. List both the benefits of the purchase, the pros, and also the costs, the cons. Of course, the pros, the reasons to buy, will win. You can even write it down like a balance sheet. Make sure the pros column is longer and more impressive, of course. Cons include things they wanted but are not getting. Start with the cons and keep them short. But do make it sound credible, as if you are giving them fair consideration. Then cover the pros. Perhaps sound pleasantly surprised as you describe them. Sound reasonable, as if you are on their side. Sound almost as if you are talking to yourself. The last but not the least method is method number 5. Ask for the order close. Sometimes, it is smart to forget the complex strategies and simply ask for the business boldly and frankly. However, when applying this direct close, it is assumed that the salesman has restated the benefits his prospects will receive. Further, he should be reasonably confident of the outcome, and also several other closes have failed, and this duct approach may be the last chance to conclude the purchase. The manner in which you, the salesman, ask depends on the situation, his personality, his prospect's personality, and the rapport the salesperson has with the buyer. Therefore, the salesman should use the appropriate words that ask your prospect to make a buying decision. Let's be clear, it happened when you have made a presentation to a prospect who has tremendous sales resistance. The customer is holding back. The prospect is hesitating. The prospect is not giving you an answer and will not make a buying decision. Come to think of it, in 50 or 60% of cases you can turn a sales situation around completely if you ask a direct close question. Here you can handle the objection which you have brought up by your direct buying question. Here we have now the objection that is an obstruction to closing the sales. Summary in a nutshell: the whole chapter can distilled in a few succulent sentences. Let's us for a moment try to recollect the methods. As said, the first method is the order blank close. Briefly, it means that the salesperson must expose the sales order at the start of the sales talk. When the prospect sees the order form, it is easier for the sales personnel to close the sale. If you still remember the method number 2 of the assumptive close, this close involves the sales professional to assume that he can sell with confidence without any objections whatsoever. Next, if you recall, the third method is applying the puppy dog close. The idea behind this close is to leave the product with the prospect so that when the prospect is used to the product, he would easily buy it. The second last method, if you look back, is the balance sheet close. It can simply mean we have to show the prospect it more advantages to buy than not to buy. Finally, the last method is ask for the order close. Basically, it just to confront the likely buyer to buy. If the prospect does not buy, then the salesman must convince the probable the reasons why she or him to buy. Does that few sentences do summarize this chapter? If you ask me, it is resounding yes. To end this chapter, shall we move to the next paragraph? Conclusion: make no mistakes. The 5 closing methods, as above stated, can really be applicable in your home and work life. Works if you want to make it work. With them you will sell more because you make the right choice. When you choose the right selling attitude, and enact the right behavior to close the right way, you win. It is you who must first create the right selling life you want, and the choice is yours to make. What matters now is that you must continue to build this professional life for yourself, a life that with each passing day will bring your health, energy, confidence, peace of mind, and that cannot be disturbed, and with a spirit that soars. If you can do this, and you can, then you have done what it takes because you made the choice. Truthfully, you can accomplish what you desire, and you will be reached for the best sales results that was already within you. In passing, in many ways, the end of this chapter is just the beginning of a brand new way of closing the sale for you. Especially when you do sales closing differently. Honestly, you must give up those old and outdated habits of your closing methods that have been self-defeating. Will these new closing tactics and strategies you then will acquire automatically the benefits that are a self-affirming person: increased sales, better health, as your income automatically improved dramatically. Finally, if you closely apply the steps in closing, then you will have what you want because you made the right choice. My guarantee to you is, when you applying my closing steps, you can accomplish you desire, and you will without doubt will become the best that was within you. Agree or not? If a yes, my work here is done. Must I write more? I guess not. Thanks for viewing this chapter till the end. PS More tips on the methods of closing sales at https://youtube.be/qbvp5uhczgq. End of chapter 7. Attachments area preview. YouTube video closing sales tips. How to close a sale. All said and done. May I, Madam Wong and CTM Joseph, bid you goodbye. Hope we can meet you again in the next chapter.